hardest video I've had to make since my mom passed away. And I've never had to deal with such a large, like, health-related issue with our children in my whole life, since I've been a parent. And my channel is definitely more about me. I don't really want to do videos just about my kids because I want my channel to be about me and my business and also my family, because I love capturing these videos. Like we always say, these are the best home videos like we could ever have. And everything that we've been through with my mom and having these videos now of her for so long and having like these wonderful like moments of our conversations and having these memories is really, really special. And with that, it's the good and the bad memories. Like a lot of good can come out of bad and a lot of bad can come out of good, and you learn a lot. But I was hesitant to share this story because my channel isn't about my children. It's just about me, but my life is so intertwined with my kids. But I don't really want to put out videos just about my kids. It's just not what I want to do. And also my kids are so young, and they're also really interested in how I film the videos, and they're all over the camera and the tripod and everything, and it makes it really, really hard. And it's really hard to edit the videos when they're screaming in the background. So it also just makes it easier to not include them. That's a lot of it. But I love capturing these moments because, like I said, now with everything that we've been through with my mom, it's so amazing to have these memories of her and for like our kids to watch. Like Charlotte will never know her. Oh, gosh. Like this baby will never know her. So having these moments on video of her is so amazing. But it's just been such a hard last like year and a half. And I got pregnant so soon after my mom passed. It's just been really hard. And then last week, I'm so close to giving birth, and I'm just really trying to take it as easy as possible, but life is not easy. So I'm going to get into it. We were having just a regular weekend. So I work pretty much every Saturday because Byron is off on the weekends, and it's just a day that I can work in the store and he can watch the kids. So I was working on Saturday, but Charlotte was fine. She was really happy. They were actually at my dad's house all day, playing on the bouncy house. She's been teething because she's a year and a half, and she's getting her molars in, which is not fun. But she was like very happy. She was eating a lot Saturday night, and then she started to get a little fussy, but we just attribute it to her teething. And then she got warm. We got home and we gave her some Tylenol, and she went to bed just fine. On a scale of like 1 to 10 of her symptoms of like discomfort, it was very, very low. Like she was eating a lot. She was playing. Charlotte's kind of in like this fussy phase where she just like wants to be held a lot because she's a baby. There were no signs of what was to come. No signs. We put her to sleep that night. She takes a bottle just fine, goes to sleep. Charlotte's a really good sleeper. She wakes up at 2 a.m. and she is just like screaming, crying. We get her out of the bed and she's burning up. We give her some more Tylenol, and Byron stayed up with her because I'm just so pregnant. Like I can barely pick her up and put her down in her crib. It's very difficult. So Byron stays up with her. They're just like, he lets her like sleep on his chest on the sofa. And at 7 a.m, the next morning, it's 7 o'clock. I hear Byron go, "Oh, no. And then he goes, "She's having a seizure." It was so awful. And I'm like, I jump out of bed as fast as I can. I call 911. Byron puts her on the bed, and she's just like full convulsing. I'm talking to 911 and they're like telling me what to do. They're like, put her on her side. They're asking me all these questions. And Byron's like, she's turning blue. And then he's like, oh no, she's not breathing. And he's about to do CPR on her. And but then we realize she's breathing like really shallow, very, very shallow. And the 911 operator is asking me all these questions. I'm remaining very calm. She goes, how old is she? How old is the patient? And I said, she's 1. And I could hear there was like a switch in the 911 operator's voice. Like the 911 operator became very nervous. And then I became very nervous, even more so. I'm very panicking at this point. Her body is like still convulsing. She's barely breathing. Her lips are blue. The 911 operator is just telling us to put her, she's about to walk us through CPR. Byron does know CPR, but she is breathing very lightly. So thank goodness she was still breathing. And poor Hendrix was so scared. He was asleep in our bed. He jumped out of our bed so fast and just like go hide in the corner. It was so sad. But the ambulance came 4 minutes later, and we live really close to the hospital, and I'm so thankful that we live so close. Like, I'm never living out in the middle of nowhere. This is a really hard story to tell. So the ambulance got here. They run upstairs. Byron gets in the ambulance with her. They go to the hospital. I stay here just because I need to get Hendrix together. Like, we have the most wonderful group of neighbors. Our neighbor saw what was happening and they came over to watch Hendrix. Our village is very small, but I'm very thankful for the village that we have. So our neighbors came over and watched Hendrix, which I'm so, so grateful they did. It would have been really hard to bring him to the hospital. I rushed down to the hospital and I walk into the hospital room. Charlotte doesn't even like look at me. Like her eyes like aren't meeting contact with like anyone in the room. I mean, normally when you walk in a room, a baby, like your eyes meet their eyes, like they're tracking. Her eyes weren't tracking anything. She's still like twitching a little bit from the seizure. And she looked and she's still, her fever had gone down a little bit at this point. And what happened was because her fever had gotten so high so rapidly, it had caused what's known as a febrile seizure, which is, after speaking to a lot of people about it, is actually very common. I had absolutely no idea. I never heard of these febrile seizures, and it was extremely traumatic. Like, I think what was also, because of everything I went through with my mom had seizures. That was like when she was first experiencing symptoms of having brain cancer. The first seizures can present themselves in very different ways according to the diagnosis. But my mom was having seizures. That was the first symptoms of her having brain cancer. And it brought up a lot of memories from that. We live in a small town. Like, there's only one hospital. We were like, the room next to us was the first room that my mom was in. We weren't in the hospital for that long, maybe like half of a day, but we get home. They did a whole bunch of tests on her, and then they can only say that it was caused by some type of viral infection. It wasn't caused by her teething, because when you teethe, your fever doesn't get over like 99.8. So she has some type of viral infection, and we just really have to monitor. If she ever has a fever, we just have to always monitor it and keep Tylenol and ibuprofen around for her. Like, we have to have it in the diaper bag, because I never want to go through what we went through again. And sometimes when babies have these febrile seizures, they can just have them once, or they can be a pattern. You can't predict it. Um, and another thing that was been like very confusing for us to deal with is that we've gotten so many different opinions from doctors. Like we've talked to 4 different doctors and they've told us all very different things. So we've done a lot of our own research, which also leads me to wanting to do this video, because if I could help one person feel not alone in someone who's experienced this, then it's worth sharing this story of Charlotte having this febrile seizure, because it was absolutely awful to see her little body convulse and twitch and then not clearly not recognize who we were. And when we brought her back from the hospital that evening, because she basically slept like the whole day. Seizures make you very, very, very tired. I mean, your muscles are just like completely contracting the whole time. So you're really tired afterwards. But when she kind of like begun to get out of it, she like couldn't walk. She had to it was almost like she was relearning how to walk again, which was scary to see. So it's just been a really very difficult couple of weeks. And on top of being pregnant, I've got a lot of emotions and hormones going on. I'm very physically uncomfortable because I am very large at this point, and dealing with this on top of being pregnant has been very difficult. I think when you're pregnant, you're also just like more sensitive to everything, and the baby feels like what you're feeling. So you just have a lot going on. But like I said, if sharing this story about our experience with going through this febrile seizure helps one person feel like not alone, then I'm doing my job, and I'm happy to share this story. We don't know what our next step is when dealing with this. Again, we've talked to three, like I said, we've talked to 4 different doctors, and we've kind of heard a lot of different opinions. But it's just a lot to take in, especially when we have the new baby coming next week. So if you have any experience with your child having a febrile seizure, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, even though it wasn't the most positive or fun video to make. I'm so happy to share all elements of my life with you, and I feel so grateful to have this community, because it really does make me feel less alone with everything that I've been through. And if you've ever had a health scare with a child or a loved one, know that you aren't alone, and you can grow so much and learn so much about yourself in any moment. And also, life is so precious and you don't get any days back. And just, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. And thank you so much for being here.